And let's make sure that California has the resources without delay, and make sure that there is no planned politics, because if you trust what he says, he has already made it clear that he likes to pick and choose who it is that he wants to support.
Absolutely, we should. This, of course, is a town that constantly disappoints people, but shame on all of us if we don't acknowledge that these disasters hit every state, and this is a really big one. And just in December, we did together, Republicans and Democrats, refill much of that disaster fund.
Remember when you were a kid and thought the fire department just magically had water? Well, apparently Trump's still living in that fantasy world. But for those of us in reality, California's wildfires are no joke. They're scary, they're destructive, and they're very, very real. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now, back to the video. So when Trump starts spewing nonsense about empty hydrants and fish-loving governors, it's not just annoying, it's dangerous. If you've ever felt the fear of evacuation orders or seen the orange glow of approaching flames, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Let's break down why Trump's words matter and why they're so darn wrong. Alright folks, buckle up, because our favorite orange turd is at it again. This time he's got a bone to pick with. Fish? Yep. You heard that right. Grumpy Trumpy's latest tweet storm is all about how California is protecting some worthless fish instead of fighting fires. Because apparently in Trump's world, endangered species are to blame for wildfires. Makes total sense, right?
What really becomes the glue that puts it all together is the actual execution of the resources.
Absolutely, we should. This, of course, is a town that constantly disappoints people, but shame on all of us if we don't acknowledge that these disasters hit every state, and this is a really big one.
I mean, we spent historic amounts of money on Puerto Rico.
Let me just play what President Trump said. This was just in October about actually fires in California.
We're going to take care of our farmers. We're going to take care of your water situation.
But wait, there's more. Donnie Diapers claims Governor Newsom refused to sign some magical water restoration declaration. Picture this: Trump sitting on his golden throne, probably mid-burger, tweeting about smelt while LA burns. It's like a scene from a bad movie, except it's our reality. Let's break down his fishy logic for a second. According to Trump, saving a tiny fish called the Delta smelt is somehow causing California to burst into flames. Who knew fish had such fiery superpowers? I guess we should be thanking them for not setting the whole ocean ablaze. Trump's brilliant solution? Flood California. Because that's totally how firefighting works, right? Just drown everything and call it a day. Maybe he thinks the state is just one big Minecraft server where you can pour water everywhere and poof, problem solved. But here's the kicker, folks. Turns out there's no such thing as a water restoration declaration. Oops, looks like someone's been watching too many late night infomercials about miracle water. Newsom's team had to come out and say, yeah, that's not a thing. But hey, why let facts get in the way of a good rant? And just when you thought it couldn't get any weirder, Trump decides to take on, wait for it.
And let's make sure that California has the resources without delay, and make sure that there is no planned politics, because if you trust what he says, he has already made it clear that he likes to pick and choose who it is that he wants to support.
And we'll force it down his throat. And we'll say, Gavin, if you don't do it, we're not giving you any of that fire money that we send you all the time for all the forest fires that you have.
Yeah, the only thing that I would say is that I would feel more comfortable if we decided to send additional resources to FEMA now, before he is sworn into office.
Plumbing fixtures. Yep, our stable genius thinks low-flow showers and toilets are the real villains here. He's got a real beef with water-saving devices, claiming they make you use more water. Because logic, am I right? According to Trump, these evil water-saving gadgets are so bad that no water comes out of the shower. It goes drip, drip, drip. Oh, the horror. I guess in Trump's ideal world, we'd all be showering with fire hoses and flushing with Niagara Falls. Well, folks, it looks like our favorite orange turd has stumbled upon a new conspiracy theory, and this one's a real doozy. Trump's latest claim? Los Angeles fire hydrants are as dry as his sense of humor. That's right. According to Donnie Diapers, the city of Angels is experiencing a hydrant drought, and who's to blame? You guessed it, Biden and Newsom, because apparently they have nothing better to do than sabotage fire hydrants. Now, before we all rush to LA with our garden hoses to save the day, let's take a moment to explore the thrilling world of municipal water systems. I know, try to contain your excitement. Here's the thing, during the recent Los Angeles wildfires, some fire hydrants did run dry. But before you start fitting Trump for a tinfoil hat, let's break it down. It turns out that in hilly areas, water pressure can be a bit of a drama queen. When firefighters were busy battling blazes, they were drawing huge amounts of water from tanks in lower areas. This caused a bit of a hiccup in the higher elevations, where the pressure dropped faster than Trump's approval ratings. But here's where it gets interesting. The firefighters, being the clever cookies they are, didn't just throw up their hands and say, well, that's it, folks. Time to let LA burn. Nope, they brought in the big guns. Or should I say, the big trucks. They used these nifty things called water tenders, which are basically giant water taxis on wheels. These bad boys made sure the firefighters always had water, even when the pumps in high areas were taking a breather. Now, I know what you're thinking.
This is your territory. Is the Congress going to fully fund what California needs in order to handle these fires, to recover from them if it's needed?
And just in December, we did together, Republicans and Democrats, refill much of that disaster fund.
And that's something that I think members of Congress need to do a much better job about, is making sure that the money gets on the ground to the people who need it the most in the manner and the speed of it.
So my challenge, my charge to the newly elected Speaker of the House is let's get a bill on the floor. Let's come together just like we came together when it dealt with Georgia and North Carolina and Florida.
But what about Biden's secret water stealing operation? Well, I hate to burst Trump's bubble, but it turns out there's a much less exciting explanation. Southern California has been dealing with drought conditions that would make a cactus sweat. Throw in some Santa Ana winds, and you've got yourself a recipe for wildfire disaster. But why let pesky things like facts get in the way of a good Trump rant? I mean, it's much more fun to imagine Biden and Newsom sneaking around at night with giant straws, slurping up all the water from fire hydrants. Maybe they're storing it all in the basement of a pizza parlor? Who knows? So while our grumpy Trumpy was busy tweeting nonsense, real leaders were actually getting stuff done. Governor Newsom, unlike our favorite orange turd, didn't waste time playing the blame game. President Biden for help, and guess what? Biden answered faster than Trump can type, Kofif. Newsom spilled the tea, saying it only took a text message to get federal support rolling. No drama, no ego trip, just a simple, what do you need, from Biden. Now that's what we call adulting in politics, folks. But let's not forget, fighting fires isn't just about putting out flames. California's been working hard on prevention too. They're managing forests and reducing fuel loads like responsible grown-ups. Meanwhile, Donnie Diapers probably thinks forest management means raking leaves. Maybe we should send him a Smokey Bear coloring book for his next birthday.